Good afternoon. So we will now begin the second part of my discussion. So we will start the second part with the discussion of the post-closing trial balance. So ito pong post-closing trial balance is prepared to ensure the balance of the accounting equation. Actually, lahat naman ng trial balance is ganon ang purpose. So, meron na tayong tatlong trial balance so far, yung unadjusted trial balance, yung adjusted trial balance, and then this one, yung post-closing trial balance. So, sa post-closing trial balance, only permanent or real accounts will have balances kasi nga, na-close na natin yung mga temporary accounts. So, ano yung mga permanent accounts? Yung naiwan, assets, liabilities, at capital. So, ito pong mga balances sa post-closing trial balance will be the opening balance or the beginning balances of the next accounting period. So, the post-closing trial balance is shown on the next slide. Ayan. Ito po yung post-closing trial balance ni Weddings R Us. So, kung mapapansin mo, ang naiwan na lang, assets at saka contra-asset, then liabilities, and the capital accounts. Wala na pong revenues, expense, withdrawal, at income summary. So the next step after preparing the post-closing trial balance is the preparation of reversing entries. So, what is the purpose of reversing entries? So, it aims to simplify the recording of transactions in the next accounting period. But, this is just optional, pero practical. Meron siyang mga advantage. So, ano ba yung mga nire-reverse na entries? Ang nire-reverse pong entries ay mga adjusting entries. Pero hindi po lahat. Alin pong adjusting entry ang i-reverse? Any adjusting entry that increased an asset or increased a liability. So, let us demonstrate using the May 31 adjusting entry for salaries. So, i-recall lang natin ng konti. The company pays 600 pesos per day and pays a 2-week salary period every Saturday. We will reproduce a calendar for easier analysis. So, ayan. So, remember, yung ating accounting period ends on May 31. Okay? So, makikita may mga color yung ating calendar. So, dun sa May, yung yellow is the last paid pay period nung nakaraang accounting year. Okay? So, yung 15 to 27. Yun yung huling binayaran. Yung 29 to 31, yun yung inaccrue natin or yung adjustment. Okay? Now, June, yan yung start ng new accounting year ng ating company. So, yung yellow, that is the next pay period. No? Yan yung hindi pa bayad na working days. No? So, it will be paid on June 10. And then, makikita mo rin yung 29, 30, 31 na naka-red, yan ay for the month of May pa, yan yung adjustment. So, dun sa gagawin nating entry ng June 10, okay, ang babayaran natin na salary will include May 29, 30, 31, tas June 1 to 10. Ang problema mo dyan, yung 29, 30, 31 was recognized as expenses in the last accounting period. Pero, babayaran siya June 10. So, we must also recall the following before proceeding with the reversing entries. So, yung salaries expense natin, zero na yung balance niya kasi di ba nag-closing entry and expense is temporary account. So, pagdating ng June 1, which is the beginning of the new accounting period, yung salaries expense mo, zero yung laman. On the other hand, salaries payable, meron siyang laman na 1,800. Yan yung adjusting entry natin for salaries nung last accounting period. No? Debit salaries expense, 1,800. Credit salaries payable, 1,800. So, bakit merong balance na 1,800 yung salaries payable at the beginning of the second accounting period? Kasi ito ay isang permanent or real account. So, let us first try entering the salary payment on June 10 without reversing entries. Ang entry po niya for June 10 will be debit salaries payable, 1,800, debit salaries expense, 5,400, and credit cash, 7,200. So, ang total payment po nung June 10 ay for I think that's 12 days. Sorry for the typographical error. No? So, 12 days times 600 pesos per day, that's 7,200. Yun yung total na babayaran. Pero hindi mo siya pwedeng i-recognize in full as expense, yung buong 7,200. Hindi mo siya pwedeng i-debit salaries expense 7,200 because yung June 10 payment includes May 29 to 31, which belongs to the previous accounting period. So, yung 29, 30, 31, that's 3 days, 1,800. Hindi mo siya pwedeng isama sa debit salaries expense kasi dinebit mo siya or dinebit mo na siya sa salaries expense nung May 31 nung nag-adjusting entry ka. So, debiting 7,200 to salaries expense will overstate the current accounting period salaries expense. So kapag dinebit mo ng 7,200 ang salaries expense, pag nag-entry ka ng June 10, sobra yon. Kasi ang salaries expense lang talaga is from June 1 to 10, which is 9 working days. So, dapat 5-4 lang. So, yan yung medyo konting complication kapag hindi ka nag-reversing entry. No? Kailangan mong balikan yung records mo from the last accounting period para malaman mo magkano yung i-debit mo sa expense, magkano yung i-debit mo sa liability. So let us now try using a reversing entry. Okay, same set of transactions pero may reversing entry. So, i-recall lang natin yung adjusting entry natin ng year end for May 29, 30, and 31 is debit salaries expense 1,800, credit salaries payable 1,800. So, bago tayo mag-proceed ng reversing entry, we will again recall that at the beginning of the new accounting period, salaries expense 0 dahil nga nag-closing entries na tayo. So, wala siyang laman at the beginning of the new accounting period. On the other hand, yung salaries payable mo, merong siyang balance na 1,800 sa credit side kasi siya ay isang permanent or real account. So, before the reversing entry, the ledgers for the two accounts are shown as follows. Ayan. So, pansin mo, yung salaries expense, walang laman. Yung salaries payable mo, meron siyang laman na 1,800. So, reversing entry. Ang reversing entry po ay ginagawa on the first day of the new accounting period. So, i-reverse po natin yung adjusting entry natin for the accrued salaries. So, dahil i-reverse, ang debit mo, salaries payable, 1,800, and credit salaries expense, 1,800. Now, for the payment entry, magbabayad ka na ng pasweldo, yung June 10. The entry will be debit salaries expense, 7,200, and credit cash, 7,200. So, kung mapansin mo, dun sa June 10, dinebit niya straight 7,200 salaries expense. Kanina, nung wala tayong reversing entry, meron ka dyang debit salaries payable na 1,800, tapos debit salaries expense mo, 5,400. Pero nung meron kang reversing entry, dinebit siya buo sa salaries expense, 7,200. So the question is it okay to debit 7,200 to salaries expense? Dito sa ating case na may reversing entry. Tingnan natin yung kanilang mga ledgers. So let us examine. So, yung salaries expense ledger mo, ito yung laman niya. Ayan. So, yung unang laman niya, yung reversing entry. So, ayan, may credit siyang 1,800. Tapos, ang sunod niyang post ay yung payment entry, may debit siyang 7,200. So, pag sinamarize mo, may laman siyang 5,400 debit. Okay? On the other hand, yung salaries payable mo, wala siyang laman, 0. And if you will analyze, the effect of the entries is correct kasi yung expense ay correct. Bakit? Pag tinignan mo yung calendar natin, from June 1 to 10, you only have 9 working days. So, 600 per day siya, di ba? So, 600 times 9 is 5,400. Di ba? So, tingnan mo yung laman ng salaries expense ledger mo sa taas. Di ba? 5,400. So, kapag may reversing entry ka, pwede mo siyang i-debit ng buo sa salaries expense pag nagbayad ka. So, because of the reversing entry made at the beginning of the accounting period, yan nga yung sinasabi ko, yung 7,200 payment may be conveniently debited to salaries expense. So, kapag nag-reversing entry ka, there is no need to return to the records of the previous period. Hindi mo na kailangang i-check magkano ba dito sa babayaran ko ay liability pa last year na ngayon lang babayaran. Pag may reversing entry ka, you can debit it straight to the expense account. So this ends my discussion, the second part of my discussion, and I will leave you with this quote. Failing does not make you a failure, it just makes you human. Thank you for your attention.